Hi there, I'm John of John's Carnivorous Plants. This is my indoor nursery, and today we are going to be talking about how carnivorous plants deal with pest and disease in the wild. Now, this is actually a really cool subject that doesn't really have much content for a very long video because I don't have like 24-hour time-lapse camera set up on my plants outside. But whenever you have plants outside, or like carnivorous plants in the wild, generally speaking, there's a whole ecosystem of plants, animals, insects, bacteria, etc., that are all working in concert with each other. So, whenever we indoor growing have issues with pests, it's generally because we lack one of those factors that normally would predate the pest. So, whenever we see like large scale spider mite infestations, typically speaking in the wild, they never get to that point because of rain or because of other predators like ladybugs and stuff like that actually coming and actively eating those mites. In the case of like some of the larger pests like aphids and whatnot, they tend to have like wasp and other animals predate on them. In the case of aphids, specifically, aphids will actually be transmitted from plant to plant by ants. So they could feed off of the aphid poop, which is really sugary and rich. It's a really weird symbiosis. So if you start seeing ants around your plants, you might want to keep an eye out because very soon they might start farming aphids on your plants. But in the wild, that's a natural cycle that occurs. And then before the aphids start getting out of control, generally speaking, it'll attract another larger predator, be it a spider, a wasp, or something else that will come along and, start munching down on all the, well, was quite literally a buffet. And in the case of the aphids, it's very sugary. So there's kind of an incentive there naturally to come and hunt down the aphids. But all of it speaks to a larger cycle of, predation that, we don't usually get to witness indoors with these plants. I've done another video about like, are spiders a pest for carnivorous plants? And while like in the wild, they'll actively steal prey from sundews, in cultivation, it's not really much of an issue for us. And they tend to end up getting caught more often than not. So it's a little extra food for the plant. But if you've ever wondered why you'll see like, frogs hanging out on the inside of Sarracenia, or why a particular spider is like, set up shop at the base of your pitcher plants outside or something like that, it's generally because that behavior in the wild is something that's advantageous to them. They'll use the plant's natural, attraction method for its prey, and they'll use that as a way of like attracting their own food and taking from the plant. Now, the plant doesn't mind this, and it's part of its design so that it'll attract certain insects to it, like the spider in the previous example, to prevent other pests from getting out of control. Now, in the case of disease, a lot of diseases get out of control in cultivation indoors, mainly because you don't have the factors of rain. So like rain is a very, very good suppressant for most fungal infections, which is kind of ironic. You'd think that a lot of rain would mean plants will rot out. Typically, it starts at root rot if it's being overwatered or flooded out by rain. But even then, some of the plants from the southeastern portion of the United States are used to being flooded, and they actually don't mind that at all. So a little bit of an asterisk there, but rain is generally a suppressant in most cases for most of the carnivorous plant issues and diseases. Now, there are a whole host of naturally occurring diseases that target Venus flytraps and Sarracenia. And if you are in the East Coast region, you will see these much more often than people over on the West Coast, mainly because, just like all human diseases, the diseases that affect carnivorous plants have different transmission vectors, and depending on the time of year or what bugs are out, they'll spread out at different rates. And it's a really fascinating subject to research into, just mainly because it has a lot of parallels to the immunology, pathology, I think is the field and study of diseases in humans. Now, you might be thinking like, oh, these small little things don't really help as much in cultivation, or like it's not very applicable to you. But if you're growing outdoors and you're seeing a bunch of a particular pest attacking your plants, you might want to look into what things in your area naturally would attack those and try to attract those to your gardening space. My cat has come to say hi. I appreciate my cat. Thank you so much for watching this video. I don't really have much more to talk about the subject, but I appreciate your viewership nonetheless. Please like and subscribe. Go to the links in the description, hop in my Discord, come say hi, or come buy a plant for me and help support the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to catch you on the next one.